Hey everybody, today we're going to be reviewing the order of sharps and talking about the order of flats. So my favorite way to remember the order of sharps is with this little saying, Father Charles goes down and ends battle. It's kind of a silly little phrase, but you'll see why in a moment that I like to use this one in particular. So that means that the order of sharps is always this: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. You will never see sharps appear in a different order. So if I had a key with two sharps, I'm never going to see F sharp and D sharp because it doesn't go in that order. It's always going to be F sharp and then C sharp. If I was going to add another sharp to this, it will always be G sharp because that is the next sharp in the order. So when we write the sharps on the staff, there is kind of a rule in terms of where they appear. And for both the treble clef and the bass clef, the rule is going to be that the sharps should always appear on the highest possible place without passing G. So G on the treble clef appears on this space right here. So now let's write the order of sharps on the staff in the highest possible place without passing G. So F sharp will go here on the top line F. Then we've got C sharp, then G sharp. So this can be at G, but not passing G. So that's fine. Then we've got D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. These are all the highest possible places of these notes without passing G. A, if I were to put it on the higher A, would be on a ledger line here, and so that would pass G, so the highest possible place for that note is here. Now the same thing applies for the bass clef. But on the bass clef, the G space is here. So we've got F sharp appearing on the top F line here. And then we've got C sharp, G sharp, once again appearing on the G space, but not going above it. And then we've got D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. So once again, we've got A down here. There is another A line up here, but that would break our rule of passing the G. So the sharps always go in that order, and they never get placed on the staff, on the treble or bass clef, above the G space. Let's look at the order of flats now. The reason that I love that saying, Father Charles goes down and ends battle, is because for the order of flats, it just gets flipped around. So the saying to remember the order of flats is, battle ends and down goes Charles's father. So that means that the order of flats is always B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. They will always appear in that order. Just like I said with sharps, you're never going to have like B flat and then D flat and then A flat. Even if you only have two flats, they will always be B flat and E flat. If you only have one flat, it's always going to be B flat. So on the treble clef, we'll write them out in that order. And we also have a rule for placing the flats on the staff. And that rule is we're going to want to put the flats on the highest possible place on the staff below F. Okay? So you can remember this like flat, below F. Like flat starts with F, but also flat, like below, like flat. Yeah. So here is our F line on the treble clef. And we cannot cross that line. In fact, we can't even touch that line. We need to be below that line. So when we're writing the flats, we've got B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. Although there is a G up here, we can't put it there because that would be above the line. And then we have C flat and F flat. Now, of course, this is also an F, but we have to be below the F line. So we got to make sure that we use this bottom F right here. Now the same rule applies to the bass clef. So we'll start down here, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. It seems a little strange for the F to be hanging so far down here, but of course we can't cross the F line on the staff, which appears right here. So while we might want to use this F up here because it's more in the middle of the staff, we can't because we have to be below the F line. So to review, our order of sharps is Father Charles goes down and ends battle, and our order of flats is just reversed. battle ends and down goes Charles's father. With the sharps, we're always going to write them on the staff at or below the highest G space. With the flats, we're always going to write them on the staff below the F.